Welcome to Friday night's debates. Today is a different night. You see, we don't necessarily have a panel of people who are going to be debating because of the nature of the topic, which is as 2019 ends. Who failed who? Was it your own individual principles, or it was other factors such as government pressure, peer pressure, or maybe the men of God misleading you? So we've all lived in 2019, so there isn't an expert in this topic. That's why we are all gathered here to discuss. If it was your own principles, so I'm expecting. Sorry, I didn't arrange first, but I'm expecting those who say no, it was because of other factors. That's why we failed in 2019 to be seated at that side. And those who are saying no, it was your own individual principles to be seated on this side. And also, we are very honored because in our midst we have the great teacher, Mr. Mabasa. Thank you so much, sir, for coming. And you're welcome. So let's utilize him. We never know when we are going to meet him again. So ask everything you want to ask regarding this topic, of course. So maybe we just change the arrangement. I'm so sorry. Those who are saying other principles, may you please be that side. And those who are saying no, it was own individual principles that made me fail in 2019, may you please be the side. With you, High Rev Rockstar, why would you say 2019? You're allowed, remember, you're allowed to generalize, you're allowed to refer to yourself or to just, speak for everyone. So we're going to start with you. You are saying, no, it was because of other factors that made me fail in 2019. Or it was because of other factors people didn't make it in 2019.
All right, okay. Thank you, Liru. It's a pleasure to be here. Basically, what I can say is, as an individual,
yes,
as people, as society, as Zimbabweans, we had our expectations. Each and every year we have resolutions which we carry from the previous year and we bring to the following year. And I was actually laughing earlier on during the day. I was looking at WhatsApp and then somebody was sending this joke. He was like, I had expectations which I wanted to do in 2019, which were supposed to be done in 2018, which were supposed to have been done in 2017, and there's, all the way back to, so there's always expectations which we have when a year begins. More so if I look at 2019, I don't know how broad you want the debate to be, but looking at 2019 coming from 2018, we remember, we had a big change politically. We had a big change, in terms of promises which were being said, and stuff like that. So for me as an individual, when 2018 was finished and 2019 was starting, I was riding on that wave. And I was like, yeah,
Okay,
2019 is the year.
We are going to make it the same.
I have like a dream car which I've visioned in my head. I was like, 2019
is my year.
Yes. So I had a lot of expectations, but lo and behold, as the year started from January, February, March, a lot of things started to dawn, and it was the outside factors which on this side I'm like referring to, primarily, issues to do with inflation. Things just started to skyrocket, and you're like,
you couldn't afford to buy that.
I can't budget, and from like I can't budget, I'm now like I'm surviving, how can I survive? So inflation was one of the reasons, and then even also just that negative atmosphere which also started to creep in. It affected a lot of other things as well. Maybe I'm not being too specific what I'm really trying to say, but
please be specific.
All right, okay. From that whole aspect, like the political cloud, it really became negative, like in a way. But not to say anything whether side A or side B, no, none of that. But just generally, the whole political sphere, just, there was sort of like a dark cloud. And as for me, like who's in the arts industry, it wasn't really that conducive, because it started to,
to affect your
like
people who come to the show.
So I had plans. My first plans were to do an album. I was like, it's a year to do my first album. I did not do it.
You did not do it because of financial issues.
Financial issues, that's one. The second issue, that cloud which just came into the whole, atmosphere.
You wanted to sing about politics?
No. What I mean is, I had to network with people, like to do my music. I had to portray a positive image to people outside the country.
Okay.
I had to network.
And
but
basically people were frustrated.
Yeah, it like became a bit hard, because like that, can you say that foreign direct investment, or like these expectations which we had were like like taking time to materialize. I still have faith that they will materialize, but it took time. I was expecting that 2019 is the year when everything will just simply come together. So those are just two aspects. Maybe the third, I don't know, maybe my final point as well, so that I don't take too much time. But also, like, I can say society in general, to me, there was a lot of, can I say, like from a spiritual angle. I know this debate, we want it, but like from a spiritual angle as well, I felt people let me down.
Okay.
Yeah,
you're men of God.
Yeah, but
the prophecy was not true. So
there were a lot of outside factors which like really affected things which I expected to have been achieved in 2019, which even now I'm still standing. There was a lot, even marriage. I was expecting marriage in 2019.
What happened to the girl? Was the girl even there?
So lo and behold, but anyway, I don't know. I'll pick it up later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, these guys beg to differ. Why did you fail in 2019? If you failed, of course.
Yeah, as an individual, I think first things first. I think God blesses us individually.
Okay.
So what happened in 2019? I think it was all from my relaxation.
Okay.
I was too relaxed. I got too comfortable with the little things that I had, and I thought, okay, that was enough.
Are you sure that if you had hustled, you're going to make money?
Yes, because everyone else is making money out here.
Not everyone else.
Okay, but the 8% is making money.
You are part of those.
Exactly. I was going to be
Okay.
part of that.
Okay.
I was going to find a way because I
Okay.
believe God makes a way. So he was
But he's
gonna
saying
make
he
a way.
tried, but it couldn't work.
No, he tried.
Mm.
I didn't know how much effort he put.
You are going to put more than
Exactly.
that.
So I think it was as an individual, God blesses us. Individually, God sees us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now we come over to you, teacher. You have heard what the side has to say. You've heard 1 point from this side. Now we come to.
I see merit in both sides because this is a debate.
Mhm.
The purpose of a debate is to look at the same thing from different angles.
Yes.
The purpose of a debate is to highlight the benefits in a situation and expose the weaknesses thereof.
Yes.
And because you are deliberately looking at a position deliberately from different sides,
Mhm.
some of the issues you say when debating are not necessarily what you personally hold,
Okay.
but what you see from observation and research and general appreciation.
Mhm.
So when the one who says it is the outside forces that had an influence,
Mhm.
indeed, if there had not been a military assisted change of government in 2018,
Mhm.
which was an external thing, if there had not been that mass movement and a change of head of state, the way the year would have started would have been different.
Yes.
But because there was that change, there was that euphoria, there was extra investment in passion than rationale. There was a hope that we are moving in this thing together.
Yes.
We are one.
Mhm.
And then you realize that,
I'm alone.
we are not really running as one. I am indeed on my own. And I'm too deep to wriggle out.
Yes.
From that perspective, you probably feel deceived, like a baby whom the mother shows the nipple to say, come and feed. When the baby opens the mouth, then the mother covers the breast. It's very frustrating.
Yes.
It's an external thing. So from that perspective, the fish could not swim clearly in muddy waters
Okay.
that had also drops of cyanide in them.
Okay. 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 That's too deep. But you understood, right?
And yet, from the side of those who are saying it's a personal issue,
Mm-hmm.
you mentioned God, you have to believe in God for you to say God. But to those who don't believe in God, when you say God did this, they don't understand.
Yes.
So, faith in God or faith in anything, faith only functions where there is no evidence. Faith takes over where logic ends. If you have got $10 and you want bread, and how much is bread? If bread is $10, you don't pray about it. You don't have faith. You know, $10 one loaf. But if it's $10 a loaf and you have $9, you know I'm only $1 short. Maybe they can feel for me. You have $1 worth of faith. And if you have got $5, either you have faith for a loaf or you don't need faith to get half a loaf. So it is really up to you. The waves that actually sink one ship are exactly the same waves that take another shore.
Yes.
So he is saying basically, although the wind is blowing for everybody, you personally have to decide, how do I set my sails? What is it that I want? Who am I? Where am I from? Why am I here? How do I get there?
Yes.
So ultimately, what happens to you, you cannot be judged about. But your response to it is your own thing to be judged about.
Okay.
Right.
So in other words, we are saying, yes, 2019 was tough, but also what did you do as an individual when you actually discovered that, oh my God, this is not what I expected. Because I'm sure you discovered that before December.
You know, I can say I did everything which needed to have been done,
So
but
are
the
you
outside
sure?
just did not allow
Even
me
the church. Oh, you also mentioned that the church kind
Even-
of failed you in a way.
Yeah.
I'm really curious.
Yeah, you know, not to lay any blame on any assembly like
Yes,
any
yes.
church, but you know, I felt churches really failed in a way because how many, like starting the year, how many men of God really prophesied, if we use that term, you know, how many really prophesied and said, you know what, people, by the end of the year, prices are going to be this high. You know what, people, by the end of this year, you know, the situation is going to be, you know,
Okay.
all of them, they were like just speaking nice. They were
We want
speaking.
specifics. We don't want to be told that you are going to prosper, and I don't know in what way, which way, how. Okay.
Yeah, you know, I think I would love to connect with the statement which our teacher said. He said we like rode on inspiration, and we sort of forgot rationale, you know, like just sober thinking. In a way, that let us down because it like caught all of us. And then we're just, you know, riding on this drug, on this euphoria, you know, that it's happening. And then at the end of the day, no one is sober enough to like really say, no, people wake up, you know.
Something is
Yeah,
going on.
you maybe need to really tighten your belts this year. You really need to, you
And
know.
I'm sure there are some pastors who prophesied that, some prophets.
None which I've heard. I don't know. Maybe you can, and maybe they can enlighten.
I actually followed TB Joshua. He gave a message concerning that towards the coup, you know,
I would
saying
love
something.
to see that video. I would love to see
Saying
that
something.
reference video.
I saw it live.
You saw it live?
Yeah.
You warned us, but we were so excited.
You know, some of these men of God, they like prophesy after an event, and you
It
know
was
they.
before an event.
It was
Yeah,
before.
that was before the whole coup thing and stuff. And he actually warned us that this is not going to change anything. It's going to make everything
I think
worse.
it was a 2016 prophecy or 2012. Yeah.
Everything is going to just get worse.
All right, and then
Okay.
maybe like you know, like the biggest event which happened in Bulawayo or like in Zimbabwe, sorry, which maybe should have really have been mentioned by men of God was the cyclone Idai. You know, how many mentioned that one?
I'm not going to say no one because I don't follow all of them.
And that also did affect us, as you know, it was an external thing, but it really affected us as individuals because economically, you know, the country had to now channel resources that side, you know, even just our well-being as individuals were taken by shock, you know, and like stuff like, you know, but how many mentioned that one? I don't know. So in a way, the church did let us down. I don't know.
You're saying the church let us down last year. What do you think?
You know, Mr. Rev, what I can say is that, okay, of course, the church is not supposed to preach negatives, right? It's always positivity.
Positive,
Okay.
yeah.
But
Starting
sometimes
from-
they do give us negative prophecies.
Yeah. But at times, you as an individual should have instincts. We are given signs of times, okay, in everything. Economically, we also, when the government was changed by military, that now we are going, we are now, Zimbabwe is going to be the demonstration of hell. And this is what has been happening so far. So sometimes we should be able to see signs, you know, when they're given to us. The instincts, you just feel it in yourself. Inside you feel that, where are we going now?
I think this whole idea of giving the men of God 100%, like following the men of God 100%, is also wrong in a way.
Yeah.
That you also ought to read your own Bible. You also ought to pray on your own. I'm sure God can talk to
Okay, just
all of
imagine,
us.
what if there was a man of God who had prophesied about that cyclone Idai? Just imagine what could have happened in Zimbabwe. Everyone could have moved out. Even us, we're gonna do a double up.
But it's not a bad thing to be warned, though.
No, yeah, but okay. Even if they told us that this was gonna happen that side, the other side of Zimbabwe, us in Bulawayo here, we're still gonna run away.
I don't know. I'm curious to hear what our teacher has to say.
So about prophets and men of God, we can't rely on everything in them.
Okay.
We should just at times have that thing, the instincts in ourselves, in us.
So you are agreeing with this side that they failed us, like the outside failed us.
Or in
Not
terms of
really.
the men of God,
Not
okay,
really,
the church.
because I don't rely on them in everything, on everything. I follow the word. I listen to them when they preach the word. They guide me, but not in everything.
And even like, I don't know, we're just talking about men of God, but what about even traditional leaders? Was there a traditional leader who, I don't know, said something about it? They also failed.
No, the traditional leaders, the only one that I still remember was the one who was removed recently. But no, he was just fighting his political battles.
They are soothsayers, or they are, I don't know, enchanters. Did they see the cyclone?
No.
or like it
Okay.
had already happened or something.
Teacher, may you please help us? They are saying the church failed us.
Yes, I hear that. You did mention that you never heard anyone prophesying about the situation at TBS. TB Joshua is out there, but there's a local person based here in Bulawayo.
Okay.
I think he's Prophet or Apostle Chisa.
Wow.
He prophesied that the years that is coming is going to be more difficult than 2008. The shelves will be full of food, but you will not be able to have it.
Wow.
So that was said. God said to people, if you don't work, you must not eat. He says faith without works is dead. This mentality of men of God, prayer, easy manner, it is one of, for those of you who want to be religious or spiritual, it's one of the devil's tricks, or one of the foreign people's tricks to control us into thinking you have easy money, therefore you don't need to work, therefore you don't need to prepare. Hustling means you have to do something for yourself. Even where there's a famine, hyenas for a season will be full of carcasses. Even now, any situation that happens, those who have got an entrepreneur's eye will see an opportunity.
Yes.
You need to look at things that do not at the moment exist. You need to come up with inventions that do not at the moment exist to make it. Because if you do the old things that were being done, you get the old things that were being got. And those things are no longer valid. They are out of date.
Yes, that's very true.
So it cuts both ways. Spirituality is one thing, religion is another. Many of us are too religious in that we want to have a certain process of doing things, and then the religion becomes an excuse for not achieving. The laws of nature don't respect anybody, and the laws of God don't respect anybody. God says, if you ask what you want, and believe Him, and you put your seed in the soil and you work, you will harvest. Unfortunately, there are people of God who have seen people of the world using God's principle and succeeding.
Yes.
People of the world using God's principles and God using that principle to bless them, and they are succeeding. Then these God's children say, these people in darkness are networking. Networking is of the devil.
Yes.
They don't network. But networking is actually of God. The devil has stolen it, if you want, and is applying it so that you don't use it. Because God is the best networker. You cannot even go far without networking. He says, teach these things, trust them to others. Networking is not what you know, but who you know that will propel you beyond what you know. Even heaven, you don't go in by what you know, but who you know. So if we, like here we are 1, 2, 3, 3, 6, 9 of us, okay? That's what happened. There were 9 of them who didn't go back to say thank you out of the 10 lepers. One has gone, right? 9 of us here, the things we can't do together are less.
Yes. Yes.
All right.
There's something you can do, I can't do. Something you can do, I can't do. Something you can do, I can't do. Think the things we can do together are more. The
Yes.
things we can't do are less.
Yes.
By networking. And Christianity, if you want, is a networking business. You tell the gospel to somebody, you invite somebody. If you see a way of how you can make money, not by selling money, but by producing value,
Yes. Yes.
your skill, your mind. Even your muscles, you can't build them by watching your image in the mirror. you have to use them to see them come out.
Yes.
Even courage itself. You cannot show courage if you're afraid of being scared. So, the proclamation of Idai, Sodom, they were told, Noah, he told them there's going to be rain. People generally don't believe.
Yeah.
They don't believe.
Yeah.
Even if it was spoken, you say, who do they think they are?
Yeah.
Lot had to be dragged by the angel out of Sodom. And even then, he still negotiates with God, says, God, the mountains are too far. Let me come to the valley. Even Peter himself, Jesus is walking on air. No, not on air, on the sea.
Water.
Yes.
No, not on water. Why Hamba Pes Holland? In other words, he's in the air. This is the sea. That's why they thought he is a ghost, because he's levitating. He's walking on air. On the sea.
Yes. Yes.
Above the sea's atmosphere. It's a ghost. Don't be afraid. It's me. If it is you, Lord, this is Peter now. Please let me come to you. But he qualifies walking on water.
All right.
So if you want to walk on water, walk on water. What made him saying, come to you, walk on water? Because Jesus was not walking on water. We have compromised with God. We have reduced the miracles we could be having. We should be levitating out there. We should be doing the impossible. And because you are in water, then you drown.
Okay. So if you still want to say something?
Nah, interesting. No, I'm still digesting.
We're still digesting.
I'm curious to hear this man, what he has to say.
Please, he's curious. I'm also curious. Say something.
Oh, hey. Well, thanks for the opportunity.
Yeah.
I believe I've been too reluctant. This last year, there were some projects I was supposed to finish. Like I'm writing a book.
That's amazing.
I've been trying to finish it. So the thing now, there's this thing I'm always telling myself that I'm not intelligent. Hey, what do you want? The grammar is always and then it went.
Okay.
Then I had another project, a studio. I done six tracks. I couldn't finish them. I'm a big tracks and everything was done. I couldn't finish it. I was just I felt I can't take it. So I had to let it
so
go.
you were demotivating yourself.
Yeah, I think some of the things I experienced it like when I went to Harare. I could feel it. Now I can do something here, Harare, because the environment here. But now
why would you say this environment is not conducive?
No, it's like it makes me demotivated.
This environment.
Yeah, like Bulawayo.
Wow.
Bulawayo. I feel like I can't do anything here. I need to be somewhere where I'm not comfortable, where it's not home. So like I had recorded my first album. It was essay. I could feel I can do something, but
because
here, I know. It makes me feel like
Thank you very much. It's like you decide that.
I allowed it. I gave up.
It was too much.
He's saying Bulawayo. He's now saying okay.
Yeah, so it's
breeds complacency.
Yeah.
But if you wwent to Harare, right? You tried Harare.
Harare, I didn't try anything. We this separate show, it told, like I could see I can do something. I can, I was asking where are the studios? Where are the studios? So I gave up.
Okay.
So which means I could have done something here in Bulawayo, but
Okay. So the other factor is also self-motivation. It's also important. Yes. What do you have to say?
According to me, I'm to blame for my failures.
Okay.
Let's say in 2019. Because always in every situation, there's a way. But I was somehow reluctant to some of the things. You can see that, for example, I was at school at the block there. Instead of reading, I would be playing. Then when exam time comes, I write the exams, then you fail.
No.
So can you say the economy makes me to fail?
No, in that case, you can.
But your input sometimes in life, it makes you succeed. Even though life is tough, whatever. But again, you find your way out.
And if you realize these days, if you have noticed, family, the ones making money, the ones living that kind of life, we all wish for, are those guys that are uneducated. Of course, I'm at school, but look at 2019.
Isn't that seasonal?
It's seasonal.
Like maybe it was just 2019.
It's seasonal. To some, it's lifetime.
Really?
Yeah. Because, okay, for example, I can look for Prometheus Patele. Those money changers.
But
there are a few that I know that already they now have mentions. A few that I know.
But I'm saying, isn't that seasonal?
It's seasonal.
Because if our economy becomes stable again, we won't be having those patellings.
Yeah, but at least they
already have the houses.
invested.
And those houses are going to sustain them for the next.
They already have the houses.
Yeah.
Whether the economy recovers or not.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are you saying? Because you are saying the people who are uneducated are the ones who are making it in these days.
Those are the people who are able to think out of the box in this kind of situation.
So you're saying educated people cannot think outside the box.
When I'm having my degree, I'm like, okay, I have to look for a job. And that one out there is like, I have to hustle. They're doing anything that comes on their way. Maybe I'm selective. Okay, here comes a thing, an opportunity. I'm like, no, I can't do this. But that one comes and does anything on a day. They make 500 a day. Okay. And then I wait for my monthly salary.
Because they don't choose jobs.
Exactly, yeah. Okay. I'm relying on my monthly salary because of fear.
Yes,
okay, how will I pay my rent? How will I pay my bills if I don't work? So, yeah.
Yeah, I've seen people who actually say, no, me, I have a degree. I can't be doing this. Yeah. I just need to be doing this. There's someone who's seated at home right now saying, I'm getting the employment, but the money is just not enough. Yeah. I can't work for peanuts. Okay, as a degree holder yourself, what would you say?
I would say what I've noticed is that degrees, there's a sort of conditioning we go through when we go through education. Education isn't bad, but it has worked before for our brothers and sisters before. Find out the sister is in UK or the brothers in Botswana, what. All that is worked for them. But things have changed drastically in the past 10 years. So the guys who used to finish their degrees, get jobs, and get the money, buy their houses, These days it doesn't work because if you look at let's just talk about the civil servants. They do their degree for maybe diploma 3 years, right? Then they get paid less than 1,000 bond. That isn't enough to cover much. But it's not to say that they are restricted by that. For instance, you can use that money to reinvest in something. Sell Tupperware, That's what my sister does. You can reinvest that into maybe if you have land, if you are so happy to like it to have land, maybe you've inherited it. Because if you are a civil servant, chances of you having bought your land, like the guys who are currently graduating, they are very low. So whatever you have, use it. Go forward, because there's no way we can cheat the system right now because we're already here. We have to go forward. Those guys who are out there, I have this other friend of mine. I usually say to him, you have the gift of hustling. Do you know what he does? He can sell cars over WhatsApp without looking for people, by just posting on his status.
And
people will buy cars. If you're selling cars in USD equivalent for the government's sake, eh? USD equivalent. Now, how much will your cut be if you're going to get maybe like 200 USD equivalent for every car you sell? Then people will come to you because they know that you can sell cars. People will be watching your statuses because they know that occasionally you post these nice things. That has nothing to do with whether or not you're educated.
Yes.
There's nothing to do with whether or not you have a degree.
Yes.
So the problem is that the degreed guys right now, they are trying to do what our earlier brothers and sisters used to do, that they finish, they get a job and get well paid. It doesn't work now. You go to work, you have to do side hustling, find something else to do. So education isn't bad. It's supposed to. All I can say is the fact that you have an 8-hour job, it can be a bit limiting in the sense that you are confined to only opportunities which come after work. So some of the big opportunities which come during the day, you can miss them. But it's not to say that you can't diversify and grow yourself.
Okay.
That's what I can
Teacher,
say.
they are saying that people who are not educated are the ones who made it in 2019. All those ones with degrees, bachelors, it was hard for them.
Yes, there is a very valid point in that. And it's a gospel I've been preaching for some time. If you ever heard of Keko, they say inkunzi khethwe matholeni. You look at the cows, you check, you say, this one I want to continue as the bull of the herd. You leave it. The others you castrate. And so once you have castrated a bull, it will be an ox. And then you train it how to pull the plow. And you program it. It is only going to be good at plowing, grazing, going to the deep tank, and even when it is grazing, it's grazing for you to get maximum out of it. The education system that we have inherited, that's why there's talk of 5.0 now, that's a change, yes. The education system, the economic system that we inherited from colonial masters and imperialists was designed deliberately to stop you from dreaming about yourself.
Okay.
To kill your creativity.
Okay.
To control you so that you labor for someone else's dreams.
Okay.
Many are highly educated, but totally unlearned. Education is crippling in that it makes you focus on a certain field up to a certain level, to be given a piece of paper with your name on it to hang on the wall and feel proud, for cockroaches to hide behind that piece of paper and nothing on the table.
Yes. Okay.
And you are not allowed to do anything else if you are on a job.
Yeah.
We need to distinguish between a job and work. In both cases, you are laboring. But when you labor for someone else's dream, helping them to fulfill their dream, you get paid a wage. You don't harvest. You are not working, you are jobbing.
Okay.
But when you are laboring for your own dream, your own vision, you don't get paid a wage. You don't get paid for your labor. You harvest.
Yeah.
Honestly, can you tell me that you were born to be paid 12 days in a year? Seriously. But whoever is on a job, that's what is happening. You are paid end of month and 12 times in a year, 12 days in a year. So you get programmed, you get limited. And on the job, you are paid the minimum necessary to be able to replace you. If somebody can do the job you are doing for less, forget about getting more.
That's true.
Your replacement value, and it programs you to think, to say, if I do anything good, I won't be paid extra because it's not on my job description.
Yes.
If I do anything bad, even if it's not on my job description, I'll be penalized.
That's very true.
So you end up doing also the minimum necessary to avoid being fired. You see dead things, you jump. You even go to the toilet, you sit there, instead of checking and making sure nobody sees your elimination, you leave and say it's somebody's job. So even our culture and ethic is destroyed. This is why whoever is a graduate of the Zimbabwean system, the old system, when you are qualified, you can go to any country, England, wherever, former colonial British, you go straight on the job. You don't get retrained. Because the syllabus was trained for us to be the best breathing appendages of the systems of production for the masters at that time.
Okay.
And you were not allowed to think of something else that can actually make you survive. If anything, it would get taken away from you.
Okay. So I think there are going to be there should be measures for us to actually change that whole system, that whole syllabus.
Thank you
Of
very
course,
much.
that's a debate for another day. But what do you want to say?
Yeah, no, what you are saying, you are spot on. Back to what he said and what the gentleman also said, and also what our teacher just brought into conclusion. The system failed us.
Okay.
The system failed us, and we were like saying that degreed people, like for 2019, they struggled to make money, but uneducated people made money. Why? Because of corruption. Because the system, the Spartalians, which we're mentioning, the system failed to rope in those, those excess schemes and games or whatever was like going on around, and in the end it affected people who were like degree holders or people who were like rightly suited enough to actually make money in a way. So the system failed us, like in a nutshell. But I also wanted to say another prophet which we forgot to mention. We mentioned like the religious prophet, the church prophet. Another prophet which failed us, I believe it's the publication side, newspapers, media, whatever. They failed us in 2019 to really bring to light what we're supposed to do.
I think they always do that, like any other year.
So me, as an individual, I was left as a victim, because I was counting on the support of all these factors, the church, the media. I was counting on them to help me, but they failed. And lo and behold, I'm still here 2020. So
just for interest's sake, teacher,
Yes.
do you actually see this whole system of ours, which programs you to become a worker, being changed in future or now?
The process has already begun.
Wow.
It has begun. The current Minister of Higher and Tertiary Education has instituted Education 5.0.
Okay.
Where we are looking at not just regurgitation of facts, we're developing entrepreneurs. The thing to do, brothers and sisters, is to network, is to have entrepreneurship, is to market. Now, whether you're marketing your facial appearance, whether you're marketing cars, whether you're marketing the gospel, whether you're marketing whatever it is, you need to be able to sell. You need to be able to market. You need to have a product that you get people to like, make people realize that they are living a less life than they would because they don't have this thing.
Okay. I like that. I like that. Okay.
The challenge now is to know how much pressure to put on. Maybe I can say, finishing off. I don't know when you finish.
It's okay.
There was an old man who was asked to come and fix a ship. Okay, let me say a grader that was very, very, very much wanted. That grader, people had failed to fix it. They couldn't do. Experts, they couldn't do. Then they called this old man. He was known to be good at it. He came with his bag, toolkit. He looked at it, he studied it, he checked it out. He tried to make the sounds it was making. He listened and he listened. It took time. Then he took one small hammer and he tapped one blow on a certain piece. He said, start the engine. It started. Perfect.
Okay.
So they said invoice, he invoiced them $1,000. No, $10,000. They said, no, give us a breakdown of how you get to this, because they saw it.
Yes.
He said, okay, for actually using my hand to strike, $2. But for knowing where to strike, at what angle, how much force, $9,998. They paid him.
Yeah. Okay, so we have managed to.
We need to know what to do when and how. You don't ever pray for the wind not to blow if you want to fly a kite, because you can't fly a kite and still. The wind must blow.
Yes.
Just pray for setting yourselves right.
Okay.
Don't pray for your problem to be reduced. Pray for your strength to be increased.
Okay.
Don't pray for the bar to be lowered. Pray for yourself to be able to go higher. Because the bigger the challenge, the greater the victory. Let's say I am a winner. Winners never quit.
Winners never quit.
Quitters never win.
Quitters never win.
I'll never quit.
I'll never quit.
In God I trust.
In God I trust.
But with people I check.
But with people I check
And double check.
and double check.
I am a winner.
I am a winner.
So when you check and double check, it means check once with your mind. You must think. Because if you don't think, you can sink and stink dead.
Yes.
Reason with your mind. Understand. You must also check with your heart. That's why you have to feel. That's why you have to love. That's why you have to forgive. That's why you have passion. But then you must also check with your body. That's why you have to implement. Because no matter how brilliant your plans are, if you don't apply them, they are worse than poor plans that are applied.
Wow.
So think, feel, act. Thank you very much.
Okay, so I think we have finally managed to reveal on how and why we failed last year. 2020 is here, and what should we improve? How should we go about it? We do not want to have another 2021 of saying I failed in 2020 because of this.
Remember, as a kid watching and hearing the words Vision 2020, there'll be free health.
Vision 2030, we're not at Vision 2030.
But you know what? It's like a problem, not just it's global.
Okay.
And you know, without going too much deep, the system, because like we're still hedged in a fiat currency, whereby you know it's all about perpetuating slavery. In a sense, and we're busy perpetuating slavery. No one is really introducing a solution to correct the whole system, which got messed up way back, you know. So
we have started with education. One
here
step at a time.
local, but I believe solutions for 2020. What we need a radicalization. Thank you for what the teacher said, you know, in mind, in thought, you know, we need a re-consciousness, a re-tapping to God, a re-tapping to, you know, to the true things, which will cause us to really change the system, because it's really a system which has been affecting us. And once we correct that, then global, you know.
But at individual level, what are you going to do different?
For one, I will get married at an individual level, so I think that will.
That's good news.
Yeah, I don't know whether others want to say something.
But in terms of your career, how are you going to make sure that the same factors that affected you, those external factors, because they are still there, but we can't change them overnight. You have to do something. You have to be successful at the end of the day.
Yeah, I need to be more forceful, more resilient, more tactful in how I approach things. You know, I was at a camp somewhere with some of these gentlemen here. I remember there's a game which they played, and the game had us. They said we were supposed to run about a distance of 100 meters, touch a tree, and then come back. And then they were like, "On your marks, get set, go." So if you hear those words, on your marks, get set, go, and then you see me going, then also run. So I forgot to catch that last phrase which he said, and you see me also run, and you see me also go. So the coach was busy. On your marks, get set, go. And then all of us would run, would touch the tree and come back, and then we'd be standing there. And then again, say, okay, everyone, let's gather again and let's do it again. On the marks, get set, go. And people would run. But then, until we finally realized that, no, the coach himself is not running with us. And, so we were not obeying like the full set of rules, and we ended up being weary. Because we ended up running, I don't know how many times, and, huffing and puffing. But generally, for like 2020, I need to listen, I need to adapt, I need to really understand the system, change the system, challenge it, change it, and then I really believe by the end of 2020 I'll be somewhere. It's a system, even like marriage. The whole thing of not getting married, it's a system, a bad system. That I go sleeping around, I go doing whatever. Okay. That's a bad system. So I need to come out. And get into a new system. And yeah. Okay. So 2020, there's a lot of things which I need to change. Yeah.
Okay. Over to you, James.
Complaining.
Okay, I like that.
Stop being complaining.
I like that.
And try by all means to find solutions to problems surrounding me. And then do something with what I have on my hands.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I'll push. 2020, I think so far it's looking great, right?
Yeah. You haven't seen anything. What are you going to do in 2020?
Yeah, I think in 2020 I have to stop complaining and focusing on negative things. Like what made me to fail this year, I think I chose the wrong investment. The system also contributed because I bought a Honda Fit in January. Thinking that I would do shiga.
Oh, and then the
went up, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyone else would like to say something?
Okay, I think this year I'll have to network.
Yes.
And also check who I'm dealing with, because sometimes some people will be demotivated.
They demotivate.
Yeah, so I need to do some deals with people who inspire me and who lift me up.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone else before we? Okay, teacher, may you please close this for us. The last words.
Network.
Okay.
Network. Whatever you're doing, network. Whether you're dealing with the coffins and you're selling coffins, network with people who are in the hospitals. To have an estimate of how many people are expected to die, so that you don't know how to choose.
Okay.
Network.
Okay.
When you are into bridal clothes, check out which people how many are looking at getting married and so on. Network.
Okay.
If you are selling maybe hairdos, find out how many people are interested, whatever it is. Network. If you are into selling the gospel of Jesus Christ as an evangelist, network. Find out where are the people most likely to be needing this. Network. Because as a team, TEAM, together, everyone accomplishes more.
That's very true.
All right.
That's very
Together, everyone accomplishes more. That's it.
I'm offering myself to help those who want to go into networking. All right. You can see me in your own inboxes.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming, and thank you so much for all your contributions. I hope everyone has learned something new, and 2020 is going to be our year. 2021, very on the first Friday of 2021, we will be here, and we won't be having the same topic, but we will be saying what have you achieved in 2020, and what are we going to achieve in 2022? So next week we are discussing investment versus ownership. So we're hoping to have business people, those money gurus amongst ourselves. Thank you so much, and once again, thank you, teacher.
Yeah.